So guys, it is Tuesday the 20th, and a couple things going on right now in the market. In fact, what we're seeing is the thing that's kind of the most news we've got happening is the housing starts are starting to slow down because building permits, there's not as many being filed as what we had seen happening. So that's starting to go recede a little bit, but they're continuing to build homes. So it's looking like, just from what analysts were talking about this morning, that they're going to fulfill what they already have permits for, but they're not as many permits being filed for new construction. So what does that mean? We may see a slowdown as far as housing is concerned. Hard to say. I think it might have a lot to do with supply chain. I can't speak to that directly because haven't talked to the builders, but that would make sense to me. You know, the supply chain issues that we're dealing with is also the cost of construction. There might not be that what they have to do to the prices does not justify, or they can't justify what they've got to do there to be able to continue to sell houses, just when you try and work it out in your own mind, right? So the cost of construction is going so much higher than what they're going to be able to profit off of, is what I'm guessing, just what I've seen, the expensive things happening. So who knows what's going to happen with that. That could also continue to increase the price of housing, just because the supply is going to shrink a little bit potentially, right? But if housing permits is an indicator, then we're going to start seeing some of that supply being weakened a little bit, or at least the supply shrinking. Therefore, the demand is going to continue to increase. Therefore, we're going to continue to see high prices on that. So what do we got going on in the mortgage-backed securities market? I'm going to show you what we're basically tracking when it comes to this is more for your owner occupied stuff, right? So we talk a lot about that because right now I can guess at where we're going to go with the investor stuff, which is doing pretty well. It's holding its own, so I'm not worried about that. Owner occupied stuff, we're seeing how, remember we were talking before about getting squeezed out of this particular at this point in the channel, and then we got shoved up above it. I mean, we're in really good shape, but we're going to it's not going to be long. We're going to hit the top of that, and we're going to probably be in this particular trading range. Now we'd have to drop below it for it to get negative for us, but what does that mean? That means more lower rates for people owning their own home and looking to get refinances or purchasing homes, that kind of stuff. So your owner occupied stuff, 93% of the market that Fannie and Freddie are doing could see lower rates coming. Well, we are seeing lower rates coming, and this is where it was at its lowest back here in recent months. Well, so what does that mean? So I've got to talk to you guys about this refinancing your home because rates going down. So I'm going to show you some other stuff that I crunched here, and it's going to be a lot of numbers to take a look at, and it's not really well presented here. But I wanted to show you is that, you know, even at a higher interest rate, you know, people really get wrapped up in interest rates. They want to drop their loan, drop the rate on their home to save money, and it seems to be a pretty consistent thing. And why is that? Well, the banking industry is pushing for this, right? So if you look at an amortization table on a 30-year fix, you're going to see in the first 5 years that there's very little going to principal, a lot of it going towards interest. So what I'm showing here is what I have seen in my career. I'm not saying that this is gospel truth. This is just what I've recognized, is that as I have been doing this since 1997, it seems like every 4 to 5 years, we got a refi boom, right? Now's the time to refinance your home. Well, if you're looking at a 30-year amortization table, you're going to see in those first 5 years very, very, very little going to principal because there's so much that you borrow. That's where you're at the peak of what you borrow. You barely even start paying anything in the form of principal on it because you have all the interest being due on that larger loan amount. So as a result of that, let's just say you refinance you bought a property for $100,000. This is for investors, of course, $80,000 loan. And let's just go off of a 6% rate. The reason I go off of 6% because I'm going back to when I started in my career, is when really things started to take off. It's when things went below 7% back in 1998. So let's just say 6%. You get an $80,000 loan at $479.64 per month. So if you stayed in that loan for 20 years, you just kept paying on that 6% deal for 20 years, you'll owe $43,202.97. That's what that is going to be over on a 30-year loan paying for 20 years. But now let's say you refinance between every 4 and 6 years up to that year 20. Well, if you refied year 4 to drop 1%, because that's what the industry tells you. If you get dropped 1%, you're going to kick ass, right? Well, you dropped 1% from 6% to 5%. Your principal and interest payment is $430.49 a month. Now, you're going to have some cost, right? So you have paid down the principal from $80,000 to $75,691, but you're going to have about $4,500 you're going to add to the loan. Well, that drives your balance up to 80,192, more than what you owe. Now, that's not an exact science, because depending upon the timing of that, you may have a full month's worth of interest. That could be another $400. It could be 80,500. But we're going to take the more conservative approach of exactly what you would have shown on your amortization table, which is 80,192, not adding any daily interest that you didn't pay, because the next payment would cover that. It's always paid in arrears. So that means over the 5-year window, right? For the next 5 years, you did a refinance on year 4, you're going to refinance again in year 9, because this is a pattern that you're being marketed to. So you're going to save between year 4 and year 9, that's 5 years, you're going to save $2,949 in lower payment over that period of time. So you refi year 9, so 5 years later, and you drop another 1%. Like, all the lenders out there tell you do, drop 1%. Now, your payoff at that point would have been $73,639, but add the $4,500 back into it, you're now $78,139.14, barely below what you started at, right? Less than $2,000. You're $2,800 and change lower than where you start your $80,000 loan, right? But you're saving now $104.59 a month over your original $479 a month payment. So over 6 years, you're going to save $7,530.48. That seems really sexy, right? Over the next 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. So let's say you held out till year 15 to refinance to the next one. So 6 years later, you save this much. So year 15, interest rates are 3%. Again, listening to the banking industry, now is the best time to refi. They're going to convince you. Now, your principal and interest payment, $311.96 a month on a $73,494 loan, because you would have paid the balance down over that 6-year period to $68,994. Add your $4,500, roll into the cost like everybody convinces you to do. Your total savings is $167.68 over the original payment of $479.64. So you're saving 10 grand over that additional 5 years, right? Thinking this is awesome, because you're going to refinance again in year 20, year 15 to year 20. That's 5 years. You're saving 10 grand. So your balance on year 20, if you don't refinance yet, you're seeing year 20 rolls over, you're going to have $65,785.51 balance. But if you refi year 20, right, you're going to do that 4th refi. So now it's another time to refi. That the marketing's coming. You're going to take that balance, $65,785.51. You're going to drop your interest rate down for that 1% again. You're going to have a $70,285 balance, right? Because you added that $4,500. So you're asking, so why is that a bad thing? Look at all the money I'm saving. Well, let's get to the guy who just paid on the loan, right? $43,202. Sure, you save that money. Total savings after 2 years of lower payments at 1% per year is equal to $20,540.28 in actual savings over that period of time, right? And the difference in the balance of those refis is $22,582.54. So a total loss. You lost $2,042.26. Sure, you saved 20 grand, but then you add in the costs on top of that, you actually lost money, $2,042. The total balance difference for the 4th refinance differential is a $27,000 difference. So if it's only just the 3 refis, you lost $2,000 by doing all these refis instead of staying in the loan. If you did your 4th refi, it's going to go up another $4,500. Your total loss is $6,000. In my opinion, Aaron Chapman's opinion, it does not pay to do your refinancing just for interest rate. So why do I talk about this now? I talk about that because the interest rates are dropping, it looks like, for your owner-occupied stuff. If you're going to do it, be sure you're pulling cash out. If you're going to pull cash out, be sure you're putting that into something that's going to make money, that we're going to buy more investment properties, prep you up for your future. Look at the infinite banking strategy. A lot of different ways to be able to build your capital, but don't do it for rate. I'm serious here. I'm showing you the numbers. Now, is this perfect science? No, because there's a lot of things going into it. I was trying to take the baseline numbers. I could be wrong somewhere in there, but ultimately, from what I'm seeing and the numbers I ran 2 or 3 times to be sure that I'm not getting out here on the internet looking like an idiot, it doesn't look to me that it works out in your best interest. It feels good, and that's what this is all about, is making you feel good, put your head on the pillow at night thinking you kicked ass. I'm not seeing that you did. So you want to talk about it more? You got some things to share? Please reach out to me. Go to aaron.chapman.com and let's schedule some time to talk. Thank you guys, and we'll talk to you on Friday.